I thought for today I'd start with a combustion chamber for a waste oil fired heater, and we're going to build it out of some everyday items that you can buy new pretty cheap or find secondhand at trade days, yard sales. And rather than putting it in a heater and testing it, I'm going to try something a little different. We're going to put it inside the fireplace and see how it'll do in there. And it'll be run off of just old burnt motor oil from where I change the oil in your car, save your burnt motor oil, and heat with it. Okay, so start with, let's get started. Got a piece of metal. It's about a 1/2 inch thick steel plate, about approximately 12 inches by 18 inches, and I'm going to weld a couple of legs on it. And on the underside I'm going to cut and weld some angle iron, and we're going to take a Dutch oven that I bought at Academy Sports and Outdoors. You can find these things anywhere. We're not going to use the lid, but we're going to use the Dutch oven itself as the combustion chamber. And I'm going to take the Dutch oven and I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom, 2 holes actually. One hole will be about 1.5 inches. We're going to thread it with pipe thread so that we can screw a nipple in there and put a 90-degree L, and then we're going to make an adapter to go from that to our 2 inch by 2 inch square tubing. There's going to be a second hole that's going to be threaded pipe threads for 1/4 inch, and we'll put a 90 on there, and that's where we'll put our oil line. We'll be using some old transmission lines, and that'll come from our reservoir with our waste oil in it, and that'll have it coming up in the bottom so you don't have problems with your line getting hot and coking up and losing flow. So here's the metal that I've cut. As you can see, it's just a plain old sheet steel plate. Then we'll weld some tubing legs on there. So I've welded the legs onto our steel plate, and I marked where the Dutch oven was going to go, and I've took some 1x1 angle iron and cut one leg off down to about 3/16 of an inch, and I've welded them in place, and they're on the underside. And I've cut 2 large holes and then drilled some small holes, and the angle iron is going to be for where the handle for the Dutch oven comes out. I've taken and removed it, and it will slide through these angle iron, and that's what will hold it in place. This way, to clean out your pot, all you do is just slide it out, take your shop vac it out, and you'll see that coming up here later in the video. Here you can see the angle iron. That is it, standing up. Alright, I've taken the Dutch oven and I've drilled and tapped both my holes. I've made the adapter piece to go to the 2 inch square by 2 inch so that we can install our blower fan that I've salvaged out of an old microwave oven. If you watched my boxwood heater conversion to where it runs wood pellets, it's the same style fan that's on it, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've removed the handles, drilled my holes. Underneath I have this and our transmission line for the oil to come in 1.5" 90, and inside is a threaded nipple sticking up, and then I've welded an adapter piece for a fan. If you look inside, you can see this is a nipple that is screwed down into the pot. Here we have the pot slid up into our angle. All you have to do is slide it back. It stays locked in place. And for this application, we're going to just put a brake drum on top. Just a regular old brake drum. It's been discarded because it was too thin or whatever. I'm going to set it on top. This will act like a heat sink and capture the heat when we put this in the fireplace. So let's go try it. Okay, we got it in the fireplace here. It's a little dark in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but we're going to let the oil get built up in there just enough to barely cover the bottom. And you should be able to see we got the pan, or the Dutch oven rather, and there's our fan. And I've just got it hooked to a line going up here to one of those blue drums like I use for everything, sitting on my wood cook stove. And we're going to regulate our oil flow right here with this valve. I'm just going to light this thing with a propane torch. We've just about got enough to light it. Let's see what it'll do. Once we get it going, we'll start the fan up, and then I'll set the brake drum right there on top. Let's see what it'll do. Plugged up the fan, and it takes just a little bit to get these things going, but once they get going, they run real well. Leave the torch in there a little while longer. What you got to do is get that oil to a rolling boil. You're actually burning the vapor off of the oil. So we'll give it a few minutes, and hopefully we'll be going. Get a little heat going here. We'll turn the lights off where you can get a better idea. It probably doesn't look like it with this camera, but we got some heat going here. Hot enough to light a cigarette right off the side. Just going to show you the exhaust, to show you that we're burning that oil extremely clean. So here's the roof. As you can see, there's nothing but heat waves coming out of the exhaust. See if I can zoom it in a little. That's about as complete combustion as you'll get out of waste oil, burnt motor oil.